Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome to some random replays. These are just replays from different tiers, different tanks, all random tiers that we're just going to chuck on. Nothing special, no Rezani or no Kolobanovs or anything like that. Just some random replays. And we're going to start off with Dawn Foe in the IS-4 on the Normandy map. Now, the Normandy map is a good map for the IS-4. The IS-4 is a very, very, very strong tank. The enemy does make quite a few mistakes. These IS-8, this Jaegeru, they are just useless. They are absolutely useless. But Dawn, he makes mistakes as well, or she, I don't know. They make mistakes as well. Not just the enemy that makes mistakes. Now the first mistake, IS-8 decides to back up sidewards just to get a bounce on the IS-4, and then if that's not bad enough, this Jaegeru does just even worse. Like, let's just sit up a hill and show our bottom plate, and then get absolutely wrecked. So Dawn is now going to just wait. They're in a very, very good position. Get that shot on the Jaegeru. And then again, he does exactly the same. He doesn't even go all the way over. It's just like, let's just sit here. I have no gun depression. And let's just get wrecked. And Dawn manages to take him out. So now the T-54 on his team is gone. It is 6 against 6. The IS-8 now uses a bit of his common sense and decides to go down. Here comes the Foch 155. Not really a tank you want to come up behind you, but luckily, hello Kieran. Kieran is with me today. Luckily, Dawn manages to turn around, and the Foch is probably the most broke tank in the game at the moment, and the IS-4 is probably the second most broke tank in the game at the moment. So unlucky there, bounce on the IS-8. But Dawn manages to stay full hit points from that, even from that Foch coming behind. There's the Leopard, unlucky shot there on the Leopard, very unlucky indeed. Low roll with the HE, but I love the fact that they at least attempted the HE. And now they can push forward and go for the IS-8. So Dawn is now on 3 kills. It's 4 against 4. And it is, now we've got the WZ up the top. Very, very good player, the WZ, Pramo clan. As we know, Pramo is one of the best clans on the NA. But I love what they do here. I love what Dawn does here. Ignoring Pramo to go for the lower hit point tanks. You don't see that often. You don't see that often. It's usually the other way around. You see a very good player or a very good clan. Even if there is 3 one-shots, you're the one that normally gets focused because you're in a good clan. So I love the fact that they ignored the WZ and went for the lower hit point tanks until they can actually get some shots off. And if they've got no other shots off, then of course shoot that good player, which is exactly what Dawn done. So very good job at the moment. It is now a 2 against 4, but Dawn's got a lot of hit points left. Could do with a little bit more, but already they've bounced 1400 damage and they've got 5.5k damage. And there is the Leopard 1. And again, they was intending to do that. They was intending to go for this Leopard 1. And that is why they flanked around. And again, he's now, or she, is on his own, or her own. I'm just going to call them they. So I love what they do here. They were spotted. So he's going to come, oh, for God's sake. They are going to come at a different direction. And instead of being spotted up the top, knowing that you're going to come round, they decide to go into the beach area and reset their camo from down here. So now that the enemy won't exactly know the exact position until this stupid IS-7 spots them just before they come around the corner, which is a shame. But he's ignoring that IS-7 because he knows the Pramo now, the Pramo guy, is a one-shot. And even if Pramo's still alive on 1 hit point, they are very, very, very dangerous. So he is ignoring, he is ignoring the IS-7 for now, and they are going to find the Pramo because you know what's going to happen. He's going to stop, they're going to stop and turn around, and I'm just going to call him him. Fuck it, I'm going to call him him because I keep saying him anyway. Hello, mate. So he knows that the Pramo is a one-shot, and he knows that the IS-7 obviously is got a lot of hit points. So does he turn around? And I mean, I know they could have had a few shots on that IS-7 already, but as I've said, you know what's going to happen. It's you turn around and shoot the IS-7, and then the Pramo guy is going to turn around and be right there. So he really does want to go for this Pramo because he knows it's a one-shot. He wants to keep his hit points all against the IS-7 instead of against both tanks. And there they are. There is the Pramo guy, and again, perfect. And that is what would have happened. The Pramo guy was with the IS-7. So if they would have shot the IS-7, then the Pramo guy would have shot them in return. And now he's got the same amount of hit points just against one tank. So I do like what he does there, but unfortunately now, up against an IS-7, face hugging is not the ideal situation to be in. It is pennable, and he's bounced 2 shots already, so it should be now a walk in the park. It should be, but things are going to take a turn for the worse, and it's going to turn the opposite direction. So now he's bouncing the shots on the IS-7, and the IS-7 is penning him. So that was just so unlucky. Just about to shoot, and the IS-7 just ever so slightly moved his gun, and it got the bounce. And now the tables have really turned. Does get a nice shot there and does get a bounce in return. What I would have probably done here is I would have started backing up a lot earlier, because they shot at the same time. The reload on the IS-4 is better than the IS-7, and unfortunately, without aiming, you need to aim, guys. You need to aim. In these kind of situations, when you're a 1 versus 1 and you're both a one-shot, aim. Don't go for these snapshots or these no-scope shots, because this is exactly what happens. But nevertheless, a fantastic battle. Just couldn't finish it off. Next up, I can't quite see who it is at the moment, but we have the EXP. Now, the EXP is a very, very strong tank, especially if no one knows how to deal with it. And when I say a strong tank, strong frontally. It's strong frontally. If you start angling and dangling, you're going to get penned. Now, the sides, the rear are very, very weak on this tank, and it really is the only the front of the tank that is very, very strong. The upper plate, the lower plate, the turret, they are all very strong. Until you start switching to Pramo, then a lot of tanks can actually deal with you. Now, the way to do that, you can actually pen the turret on this with normal rounds. But if you are facing a tank, if you just constantly move your turret, it's literally such a small weak spot. It's going to be hard. If you're rocking backwards and forwards and side to side, moving your turret as well with your tank, it's going to be very difficult to pen this tank. And to think that this tank was not long come in an event where you can actually get this tank for free, I do honestly think this is probably, if not the best free tank that you could have got hold of. Now, I didn't get it for free. I paid for it a long time ago when it first came out, when it's first released. It was a lot of money back then, a lot of money. But seeing it, like, what is it, last month, come for in the event for absolutely free is just insane. It's insane. It's definitely one of the best free tanks, one of the best event tanks that we've had. And it is a very strong tank, very, very strong tank. I love the tank. I love the fact that it's quite tall as well. It's very tall, so you can get, say, like a mines, you can sort of poke forward, and just look how strong that front plate is on there. But as soon as you switch to Pramo on this kind of tank, I mean, the penetration on this is quite good anyway. But if you switch to Pramo, then you're just going to go through like butter. Yes, in a minute, mate. So already they've done 1,400 damage. They haven't took any damage in return, but never come out sideways in this tank. Always, always face your enemy, because that is the strongest part of your tank and pretty much the only strong part of the tank. So the EXP on the enemy team, you can see just how the weak points on the turret are very weak. But if you're just rocking backwards and forward, it is very difficult to pen. Not impossible, but very difficult. So It is 4 against 4. It's 4 against 4 on 1900 damage. I mean, they've only blocked 190 damage. I think that was the Charioteer. And there's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of hit points to get through. Now, they made a mistake here. They wanted to poke up to get that shot on the E75, and they took a shot in return. Atho, we're watching Atho 303. So that was a big mistake in my opinion, especially when it's this close, 4 against 4, and now 3 against 4. You don't want to be bleeding hit points like that, and you've just gifted the enemy some free hit points now, and that brings you down to a 2-shot, even though you're not a 1-shot. But when there's 2 tanks together, like the Tiger and the E75, if they both popped out together, if they both poked out together and shot you, you could potentially be dead. So don't gift hit points. Make them work for it. Make them work for the hit points. And to do that, just to take 1 shot, it was a bad mistake. But it's going to pay off in the end. He doesn't get shot. And just see what he's doing here. He's just wiggling his turret side to side. And eventually he can take out, or he don't, the Waffle takes out the Tiger too. And now it is just 2 against 3. But the Waffle does a fantastic job. Atho's on 3,400 damage now. And the Waffle takes the attention of the E75, who does shoot. And the Waffle can take him out to bring it down to a 2 versus 2. Now the Charioteer must be running the low gun. Because he's doing 170 damage and he's penning every single time. Now, that's what I mean. It's not impossible to pen at all. But if you're in the right position, if you can go hold down or anything like that, wiggle side to side, you will bounce shots. Regardless of what tank is in front of you, you will bounce shots if you're playing it correctly. Now, he's taken a nasty beating from that Charioteer. Wait, Kieran. He's taken a very nasty beating, and there goes the Waffle. So he's now on a 1 versus 2. Now, he is going to go for the Charioteer, but personally, I wouldn't have. I would have left the Charioteer for now and took a shot off the EXP on the enemy team. Only because that would bring the EXP down to a 1-shot, and he could potentially take him out. And the Charioteer is going to have to shoot him maybe 3 times to clear him. So I know he's taken the gun out of the game, and it's not the wrong decision, but I would have done it a little bit different. But nevertheless, it pays off anyway. 3 kills. He bounces 1,000 damage, and he gets 5,337 damage. And he ends with 60,000 credits. So very good job there. Thank you, Atho, for sending me that replay in. Next up, we have Jeepstown, and he's driving the Kpfpz Panzer 70 Cavalry. Now, this tank is okay. I've done a couple of videos on the tank where it's been buffed, and after every buff, I'm just thinking, when I play it, it's just not as fun. It just doesn't seem too fun to drive. Now, in Tier 8, it really is a good tank, and you can really deal some damage. The DPM is very low on the tank. The penetration is quite low on the tank. The armor's okay. The armor's nothing special, but it's okay. You can get some bounces. But for me, it's just the penetration and the DPM that is just mega, mega low. I do apologise again for that background noise. But Jeepstown's going to have a fantastic battle, and he's going to show... It's going to be very lucky. He is going to get lucky towards the end. But at the moment, I mean, these shots here, he can't really reliably take that shot on the Conqueror because we don't know if it's going to pen. Now, so he's going to wait. He's going to wait, and he's going to be very patient, and he's going to get that shot off on the T49. So at the moment, there is 1 tank down apiece. Jeepstown is on 1,300 damage. There goes the Bat Chat. The Amex CDT takes out the Bat Chat. And the enemy Waffle, I think, is resulted to shooting HE, which is a good decision. Very good decision. If you can't pen a tank and you're in a high caliber gun and you really can't penetrate a tank, and if he's hold down or side scraping, just shoot HE, because you're still going to do, instead of bouncing, you're still going to do 300, 400, 500 damage. Maybe a bit less if you... Sometimes it can be troll and you can do like 10 damage. So at the moment, he's taking a shot from the E75, and again, he takes some HE damage from the Waffle. So it's 4 against 6, still a lot of work to do, but the enemy are capping base B. He's going to wait, and I knew exactly this is going to happen. As soon as he shoots that E75, just as he shoots, the E75 just slightly turns so he gets the bounce. One thing you have to remember, even though this is a big caliber gun, it does 500 plus damage. It has got a 13 or so second reload and very low DPM. So any tank almost that comes face to face with you will out DPM you. So you have to have either cover or tank with you. So just for that protection, don't get caught out, and definitely don't go one-on-one facing, definitely against a medium. Unless they've got lower hit points, then it wouldn't be so bad. Now, Jeeps at the moment, he's going to face a waffle in a minute. The waffle's there, and I'm thinking, is he going to shoot AP? Is he going to shoot HE? But he doesn't decide to use HE. He decides to use the APCR. That does almost 600 damage. So probably the correct decision there. If he would have used HE, he may have just, where he shot, he probably would have shot the gun, if I'm honest. And the HE on this thing, for me, it's not really worth shooting the HE, because your AP or your APCR does just as much damage, and you haven't got that risk of splashing and only doing sort of 200 to 300. So at the moment, Jeeps is going to go for the waffle, as the waffle's not looking. The waffle is going for the M103, but the waffle does take out the M103, bringing it down to a 2 versus 3. And he's going to go just for the little ram. Didn't really need to, but because the APCR would have done that damage anyway, but you never know. He didn't really lose that much hit points, so it really didn't matter. So now Jeepstown is on 5,000 damage, and at this moment in time, the chieftain on, not the chieftain, the centurion on his team, Jeep's probably thinking, just die, man. Hopefully you die, so I get all this hit point for myself. So the centurion is coming, and the Jagdtiger is coming as well, and they're going to get very lucky. Now, if I was that Jagdtiger, 100% I would win this game. He's going to go and he's going to get a bounce, and he's doing the right thing at the moment in face hugging, but he's playing it very risky. I mean, watch this. He backs up as he's on as he's got 4 seconds to reload. Very bad decision. Now, the Centurion is just, he bounces a shot, he goes for the ram, and he kills himself. And like here, he backs up on a one shot when there's 6 seconds left to go. He's lucky that that Jagdtiger on the enemy team wasn't the best of players, and he gets away with it. But nevertheless, 6,400 damage, or 6,500 damage. He gets the Mastery badge. 109,000 credits as well. So thank you guys for sending me that in. That's another episode of these replays. Come back maybe tomorrow or the next day, and we will have some more. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.